with allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, but we're gonna table 9 and 10, and we're gonna add a 14 to re-canvass the votes for no links.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
I've read and I make a motion to approve the minutes for November 19th and 21st, the special meeting.
Okay, I'll second that.
Any discussion on either one? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Meetings attended, please.
Okay, last Tuesday, I had a Board of Supervisor wastewater treatment class put on by DMAC, and I attended that, and we learned about times of transfers and perk tests and permits and a bunch of legal stuff. It was a good class, so got through that one. Tuesday night in Mount Pleasant, we had an early childhood development meeting. They reviewed a lot of contracts amendments for LSI and Trinity Public Health and Community Action of Southeast Iowa. They did some new contracts for the United Way of Muscatine and Trinity and Muscatine. Talked about the realignment with the state and stuff, and we're getting through that fairly smoothly. So seems to be going well. It was a long program, but we got through it. I got the minutes here if you guys want to fall asleep and read them. Wednesday, I met with TMK Roofing. It looks like the roof at the jail is done. They sent it, and it's on the agenda here for you guys to look at, just so everybody's on the same page. Obviously isn't going to leak out now because it's freezing. So I guess we're going to find out in the spring when it rains if it works. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to put some crickets in front of those vents and divert the water. But hopefully that'll help. Thursday, of course, we had our special meeting here to accept a resolution. We were here, what, 3 minutes? 2 minutes? 1 minute?
Yep.
Okay. And then Friday, there was a water issue at the complex, and I went out and met with Susie, and we looked at some stuff. I need to get McClary's phone number if somebody has that, so I can talk to them. Yeah. I can get
Changed it, so I don't know.
talk to them. There's a Lyme issues back with a vengeance. So we got to figure out if they're actually servicing them and know what intervals they're servicing the water stuff out there. And if they're not, then that's obviously why we're having the issue. And if they are, then we got to find out what's changed. So I need to make that phone call. Other than that, that's was a action-packed week. It was awesome.
We put in this filter, sand filter,
Yeah,
3 different runs of sand
Yeah,
filters. It
yeah.
shouldn't be, but that's hard water out there.
it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Okay, I had a meeting at Russ, pretty much business as usual. After the meeting, Bruce talked to Scott and I a little bit about the solar with Orion up by the county line, and kind of some problems might arise there in time. Give us a heads up on that. So that's all for that.
Okay, Tuesday, we met with Community Action. Kevin and I went down there, introduced them to the group. It was a good meeting. Kevin, you got anything you want to talk about on that, or?
Just says it looks like that Glenwood.
Yeah.
And the Glenwood that they're just about
Yep.
ready to wrap up.
Finishing up.
Yeah.
Yep, and he kind of got introduced how much they affect the kiddos and the food banks and the elderly in the community. And so thank you for going down with me on that. Farmers Elevator, they're gonna fill the tank. I told them, go and get the tank full, make sure they're on that. They said they've been watching it, so. Repairs, again, I need to get that repaired.
Springtime.
I need to get it now before we get it in the budget to see
Yeah.
what it's gonna cost.
I agree.
Wednesday, we had an Iowa workforce meeting in person down in Burlington. It was just a general board meeting, 1 to 3. And then, Thursday, I met with the, Orion Solar, guy for down below the hill. And they, some good news, the, Community Foundation, they allocated, 250,000 to Louisa County and Muscatine for future donations, with the max probably gonna be 650,000 going into that for, charitable donations. It don't have to be a nonprofit, it could be about anything. So, glad to see that coming. We reiterated that 1% sales tax at point of purchase that can amount to millions of dollars in Louisa County if that can go through, but I want the next supervisors keep pushing on that point of purchase. We gotta get that done. Trying to get everybody in the state to do that. I've met with several groups. If we can get that 1%, any building in Louisa County, if they do point of purchase, could mean lots of windfall for Louisa County. So stay with that. And Friday, we had a CEO meeting in Iowa workforce. Things are moving forward. There's employment, quality employment. Still the big thing is make sure that we get jobs that that can grow families and grow our areas. So we're still working on that. And there's one more, but I can't remember what it was. That's it. That's all I got. Okay. Public input. Public. Brian.
Oh, I just want to bring your attention again. Over the years, we've always talked about the hazard mitigation plan. Technically, it's called the multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan, meaning multi-jurisdictional, meaning all the cities that are involved in the schools. And it's due every 5 years. I'll go ahead and read right down the list that I gave you just to educate the new guys here and anybody's not familiar with that. But it's a comprehensive plan that involves all communities and school districts and identifies the natural man-made hazards in the county and plans to mitigate those hazards. So every 5 years, you got to update what's new, what's the threat, what's our vision, what do we need. Each community has a section in that plan to outline their specific needs and concerns. Each community must engage and adopt the plan to be eligible for federal financial assistance for projects or disaster relief. Simply is that, like, for instance, Morning Sun one time wanted to get part of the grant to have another siren. And the first question that the grant asked was, do you have a hazard mitigation plan for your county? And did you adopt it? And so I orchestrated that in 2020. So that's the importance of the plan. If the community gets wiped out and you want federal dollars, you got to have a plan. And that's all kind of crazy because if you only look at North Carolina and Hurricane Helena, that FEMA's tapped. FEMA has no money. So, but you still got to have a plan. That's their saying. It's a 5-year plan. It's due again in 2025. So when I landed in the job in 2019, it was due immediately in 2020. No work had been done on it. But so I was able to get a quick update, which FEMA allowed and passed, knowing that we were in a presidential disaster. And so they allowed that, but they gave us a plan to improve our plan. This plan is typically drafted by an outside vendor and is submitted to Iowa Homeland Security and FEMA for review and approval. It usually takes about 6 months to complete this work because technically what they want a person to do, the plan engineer or draft or architect person, to go to each community and get engagement and involvement and input and then put it into the plan. And so that takes about 6 months worth of work and updating all the the demographics and all those things for the county. And then the approval process takes about 6 months to run it through Iowa Homeland Security for a first glance, and then up to FEMA. And then they set on it for 4 months, and then they stamp it. But getting ahead of the process, knowing that it's a lengthy process, in 2022, I connected with Southeast Iowa Regional Planning and asked for their participation, see if they'd be wanting to be engaged, because they did for the 2020. So I worked with them, got on their calendar. They said they would do it. They would even manage the grant. And so I signed a notice of interest for a FEMA grant to help pay for that entire plant. And I thought we were good to go. I'm on the calendar for Southeast Iowa Regional Planning, and we're good. Well, then I believe back in there, I'm going to give you this. You don't need to take all of those. I believe their price back there to do the plan and to manage the grant was $30,000, but that's what the grant would pay for, the $30,000. But with any grant, there's a financial match. So the county's match back then in 2022, I believe, was like $9,500, and we had a resolution signed that we would pay that $9,500 for that grant to get that plan.
It's $1 million to the whole state if everybody's 95.
Yeah, it's
That makes sense. Though.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
But then, as it turned out, the 2022 grant was not funded by FEMA. It got all quiet, and so I thought, okay, well, it's okay because we have plenty of time. And so the Iowa Homeland Security moved the applications just into 2023, and waiting for a notice of funding. It still has not. The 2023 has still not been funded, and some of the information I'm getting back from Iowa Homeland Security is that that's because of all the natural disasters that have happened, that they're tapped. They just don't have money.
Did we pay that $9,500?
We have not, because it wasn't funded. And one of the stipulations of the grant is
Sure.
you cannot start work on your project until it is funded. So Southeast Iowa Regional Planning, we got together, we did an application, we're sitting there waiting, but they can't start work on it until funding happens. So they're just waiting, they're in limbo. But by now, they have a full schedule. Here we are years later, they're saying we got a full schedule, we gotta move on. And that's third-hand information because they're helping other counties, and they're telling these other counties, you might want to find somebody else to do your plan. So that's kind of where I'm at. The Iowa Homeland Security, I reached back out to them. They said, oh, the funding will probably happen, but by the time it does, we'll be missing our deadline. And they say they can justify that, but still, Southeast Iowa Regional Planning probably still can't do the plan, so I have to find somebody else. But they can provide a list of vendors that can do this kind of work. But thinking ahead, I went ahead and checked with some of my neighboring EMAs, and they know a person, and I think she did lots of work out in Oklahoma, writing plans and disaster plans, and she happens to live in Fairfield, I believe. And they just finished, her and her corporation or company just finished the hazard mitigation plan for Jefferson County, which was easily approved by FEMA. So there's a good resource for us, and people are reaching out to her to say, can we get on your list? Well, I was one of the first people, so I'm on her calendar if we wanted to proceed. And this today is just information to say if we want to proceed with this, that we'd have to get on the agenda, get it on a resolution, and we'd have to move forward. But their price to draft that plan is $20,000. And if we went that way, that invoice would land in the fiscal 25 budget. So it wasn't planned for. So, and they suggest they can get the work done in the first half of the year and submit to FEMA before the 2025 deadline.
Why don't the state write a master plan for the counties? Because
Well,
if you figure $20,000, there's almost 2 million that, what the heck they think?
well, because every little township is different.
If you do a master plan, everybody's got the same problem. If you have a disaster, fix it. You know what I'm saying?
I can bring it up to the governor.
But yeah, it needs to go to the top because it needs to go where the state does a master plan because the counties is taking tax dollars, it's taking 20,000 out of our coffers that we can do important things, more important than this here, because here you're saying that we're 3 years don't have a plan now.
Oh,
So if a
our five-year
disaster
plan's still
happens,
good.
are we covered
We're good, we're covered.
without a master plan?
Oh, yeah,
So are we covered?
we're covered right now, yeah. The 2020 plan is good for 5 years and it will expire, really it's February 26th.
But
We got time.
are we gonna get $750 per resident is like what they got in North Carolina? Is that
No.
worth?
No.
We can almost self-fund it for $750 per resident to pay for it and spend $20,000 for them. But to me, it's just something that I think the state needs to do a master plan for the federal government. And then if we need to critique it, but $20,000 for us is a lot of
It's
money.
kind of ridiculous, but you also notice in the very bottom there, I kind of put it in perspective. I believe in 2015, because there was no effort to get a grant or do anything, I think the county paid $35,000 for that plan. And then when I rolled in here in 2020, we were in the middle of a presidential disaster, and I got the person, the architect of that plan, just to do a quick plan update, and she still charged $9,000.
Good luck.
So it's one of those things, people figure out you gotta have it, and
It's something, if you look at the previous 2 or 3 plans, you can probably cut and paste and fix it.
well, and that is
5 minutes.
exactly right, but so I talked to her about that, I said, well, what if we just kind of update the demographics and update the players, and she said, well, she'll write a new plan. No, because FEMA gave me back this whole list of objective met, improvement, and specifically, you need more community engagement, so there's gonna be a lot more interaction, so she's gonna rewrite the plan. She'll rewrite it, make it more current, because it's obvious, it's just been updated over the years, and it says it needs to be more comprehensive and applicable. I know what you mean, Brad, I mean, it gets to be mind-boggling to me about that.
It'd be nice if they had a template that you could just kind of plug some things in, but apparently.
Well, $20,000.
Doesn't make too much sense.
No, I understand that you're trying to just make it to happen for we're covered, but we gotta look at it too, is the $20,000 it could do a lot for a county.
Yeah.
You know, and if we paid 35,000 before, the state's gotta help us somehow come up with a plan, that they have a master plan or something. This hurts all these counties. We're not the only county that's smaller and try to utilize all the money. Des Moines and stuff like that, Polk County and stuff, they want to affect them. It's,
Yep, and for us, it's, our hazards are, tornado,
Mhm.
occasional flooding, and the man-made stuff that come roll through town.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you can count on your hand the number of times we've had to ever use this kind of information. And in 2019, when we were under the gun to get this plan going, because there's that severe weather. And so we had a lot of people apply for assistance. Levee districts, drainage districts, conservation, and county roads. And then to ask for this money is a damn nightmare.
well, and FEMA's already cost us 850 lots, partials already that we're not getting taxes over because they took them out of our coffers, but we can't. So they ask for more and more, but when they come in our area and they take these buyouts that we can never sell again, there's no tax money ever coming back in. So it's, I would say when FEMA comes in, the county run, because they're gonna hurt us, and that's the way it always is.
Well, there's a whole change in their response and their help, is that back in that day, they were offering people 110% value of their buyout, and people were lining up for that. But now, in 2019, when there's a small group of people in the Muscatine Bottoms that were asking about that, they're not getting that money. And by the way, that you know, you didn't take it last time, but now you've elevated your home, so your home's not damaged. You just can't get to it, deprivation of use. And so they're not ponying up that money anymore for 110%. It's market value barely. And
then the county has to maintain their property.
Yeah.
Taxpayers have to maintain.
and so I mean, again, you only, and I'm gonna, in the springtime when the tornado season comes, I'm gonna put out a piece of paper to tell people you only have to look at North Carolina. You only have to look at northern Iowa during the big flood. Those people, FEMA's not coming in buying their homes. They're not replacing their homes. They're giving them marginal assistance. So what you have to lean on is your homeowner's insurance. Your homeowner's insurance is more powerful than what FEMA's going to give you. So I need to make that clear across the county when storm season comes. Don't expect a handout.
Yeah.
they may come and help do debris removal, but that'll be done by the time that FEMA ever shows up. The reality is you need to lean on your homeowner's insurance, and then most people are underinsured because the cost to rebuild is double what it used to be when they probably got their insurance policy.
You saw that in
Yeah.
I mean, the government, federal government come in and said that the road there would never be built again, or if it did, it'd take several years. The locals went down there in 3 days and had the road done
Yeah.
with their own equipment. So, you know,
Well, that's all I wanted to tell you today. This information only. I haven't run it by the EMA commission or anything like that. You can talk to them. I want to do another check with Southeast Side Regional Planning to know my direction. And, but
Thank you.
So, actually get on officially get on the agenda for possible action required for you guys next time. All right?
that'd be this year or next year. That'd still be this year or next year.
This year.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the good news, Brian. I'll make a motion that we table regarding the
9 and 10.
9 and 10, the sale of the 7 parcels north of Tyson, and approve resolution 2024-43 for the sale of them 7 parcels.
For the next meeting, be on next meeting, next Tuesday.
We're waiting on Adam. So it's
Whenever
depending
the-
on Adam.
Attorney gets it all,
Yeah.
the i's dotted and t's crossed.
Second.
Any more discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we reviewed the changes, payroll changes. Looks like Adam's. Morning.
Morning. Thought you could hide in the back for a while.
Thought I could, yeah. It's cold outside. Did you know that?
Cold out there.
Cold out there, so. So crews this week, we're getting sand and salt mixed up and get the big pile ready to go. We got wings on graders yesterday, so we're pretty much ready in case it were to snow. We're looking at something over Thanksgiving, but that doesn't look like it's gonna happen, so.
Good.
Other than being cold, which would be good, it kind of, we haven't really had a good freeze past couple years before it snows. And it's always good to have the
Secure the rock.
roads frozen before we put plows on and things like that, so. Anyway, not a lot going on there, obviously, a short week and most people are gone the rest of the week too, so. Anyway, through the DOT, received bids for the asphalt work. And again, that's 3 projects. One is the Grandview bypass, which is 141st, Old 61, and 160th Street there around town. Phase 2 is from the off ramp of 61 up to the stop sign in Grandview. That one includes some sidewalk work as well. And then the 3rd phase is G28 and X14, which is 3 miles. And so when I do an estimate or anything like that, I usually do like a beginning of the year budgetary estimate. And then when the project comes along, I have to present a detailed estimate to the DOT. My budgetary estimate was 2.3 million. My estimate, my detailed to the DOT was about 2. The total bid came in about 2.28. So right in there. Asphalt prices were right where I thought, but there's a lot of mobilization and traffic control and things like that I was probably a tad bit low on. But so the old 61 160th bypass, that'd be 552,000. Work on that is going to be milling of old 61, putting down 3 inches over top of that, and then putting 5 inches over the the seal coat there. The stretch from in Grandview is about 217,000, and the 3 miles of G28 and X14. That's gonna be cracked and seeded, which they come with a breaker and basically crack it up into, chunks about that big, so that when you put the asphalt over top of it, the joists don't come through.
How much was we gifted when we took that part from the state?
I believe Old 61, I'm not sure if just this portion or all of it was like 300 some thousand, so probably okay there. And for that 552,000 for that thing, most of it is on the old 61 because we put down 5 inches of asphalt there, or I can't remember if it's 4.5 or 5. So anyway, the low bidder was Manats Inc., who we've had mixed results on, so we're going to get hard on them on the quality control there. Second bidder was Pelling. So
How far apart were they?
well, 280, 112,000, I think. Yeah, so something like that. So I don't really need your approval to sign it because every year you guys, I've got the authority at the beginning of the year to do these things. I just wanted to bring it out, and any questions, any comments. So they have a late start date of September of next year, which may be why the price is a little bit higher, because they don't, but probably not going to do it until the last bit, right? Because they always want to do the DOT work and everybody else's work, and then ours is always last. So it is what it is there. They do have a provision in there that they can't do any work over 4th of July in Grandview. So
On the bypass around Grandview, they're putting roughly 5 inches of asphalt. What's the shoulders gonna be like? Is it not gonna be a big step or anything off the edge?
no, the seal coat that there is now is 26 foot wide. We're going 24 quarter or something wider, and there'll be rock there.
Okay.
For rock shoulders, yeah. So anyway, that should get us by for finally get that project done.
And nothing needs to be motioned here because it says to
Um,
sign.
you could motion it to accept and have it be signed, or have it be signed. I don't think I need it, but
This is good.
do it.
I want to do a motion on the 11, please.
I'll make a motion to have Adam accept the bids for the paving project and move forward.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Not all in favor?
It'll be interesting to see how those big trucks pound on that pavement around the
Yeah.
bypass and see how it holds up.
Yeah, we've got a couple of areas, and frankly, I'm thinking about putting in a tile along that because it just seems to hold water.
It's right on top of the hill too, in that one.
It's odd. It's on top of the hill. It's on the side that was all fit, or that was there before, right? There was a road there before.
Yeah.
And the south side, which is all new,
Been added.
and it's been built out of black dirt, frankly, and it's just fine. So I'm guessing there's just water that springs up in there. So we'll get that taken care of. So that's that. I was gonna say something else about that, but I forget. So anyway. Checked on the Highway 92 project yesterday. They got, looks like all the mainline paving done. Working on a little bit of radiuses, but I think those are mostly done. They're doing rock backfill and things like that. Obviously it needs to be pavement striped and rumble stripped and all that. So again, a couple weeks or so. So
What temperatures can they stripe it
I don't know that. I know
I bet it
concrete,
ain't 20 degrees.
I know concrete is, 34 and rising,
Yeah,
but. So that's going on there. Other than that, it's gonna be a short week. Next week I'm going to the county engineers conference. Be gone, yeah, so that and off and on here, so.
So, in a couple of years when we do the K Road Bridge, being as we're small and only kind of at the end of their work scope, could we put like a 90-day, tear it down, fix it up?
There
Put it-
will be no free winter work on the thing, for sure. Because,
Get it open and closed as
Yeah,
fast, as much goes down that road.
yeah, I'm doing a beam bridge, which is faster because you don't have to tie up tile steel. We won't do any free winter work which is what they
Yeah.
said, hey, we're gonna come in and do all this and keep working on it, but they had a window and they took advantage of it, so. So, yeah, we're aware of those things and we'll do the best we can.
Well,
Obviously, we can't do a 90-day hard thing because that's gonna make the price, but.
but like on 99, that bridge, them cranes sat there for 2 months and didn't move, and we can't have that.
I could see you're transferring from supervisor mode that wants to save as much money as you
To
can.
complaining
To
farmer.
complaining farmer
I'm
mode.
practicing.
I understand, I understand.
I'm gonna call every day.
But yeah,
I mean, that's a concern.
I
of people
get it,
here.
yep. If it is, it's whether it's a 99 bridge or a gravel road bridge, everybody wants it
It's,
back
when
open.
they're
Yep.
inconvenienced, it's a
Yep.
pain in the, but
Yeah,
I think that's getting to be a busier road than 99.
well, it might be.
I mean,
Might be. Yeah, what else? I was gonna say something here. What about it? Yeah, I'm going to a pre-construction conference for the H22 bridges, overpasses here in a couple weeks, so we'll learn more about that. I know some people were asking about that, and I didn't have any information then, but hopefully after this meeting we'll have some. So. Other than that. Anything else for 'em? All right.
guys, thank you.
Yep, thanks.
yes, sir.
Brian will wait to Roger. Let's do 13.
Went out and checked it all out, and I had a couple of meetings with them. Looks like they got it. So like I said, I'm gonna move to approve that bill and for the roof of the jail, and I guess we'll wait till spring to make sure it works. If not, Susie will let me know, I'm sure. They even got the concrete joints on that precast that were missing since 2000.
Since they built it.
Whenever they built it, was that in 2000?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Started.
Somewhere. in there.
No.
That was 2005.
No, it was being built in 2009 when I
Was
took
it
office.
Was it?
Started in probably 7.
Somewhere in there.
So is that a second?
Yes, that's a second.
And for discussion, where we're gonna take it, what funds we taking that out of?
I would do it out of the complex maintenance fund, and we have like 30 grand in there, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I would pull it from.
Do we wanna do it there, or do we wanna do it on a 1% budget since?
We've got the money in the complex maintenance, so that were the building expense.
I would use the lost as an emergency.
Yeah.
Let's do that fund first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Right.
I think that was what was discussed when we bidded for, was the building fund.
Previous people, we have to make sure we tell them which fund to take it out of, so. Okay, 14.
What do we need to do there, Susan? Just make a motion to.
Yep, just making a motion and second to approve, and then I just have all the papers for you to sign again.
Oh,
You want to tell them what they found?
Yep, here's the first ones.
Well, first, should we make a motion to recanvass the votes for
Yeah,
U.S. Representative District 1?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
okay.
Motion passed.
So at the recount, it was found Miller Meeks to be at 3183 and Christina at 1798. It was one vote more for Miller Meeks.
Thank you.
These three of those.
Yeah, at least it was just one and not 100. Then I'd have to question the integrity of our.
There was only one race that asked for the recount.
Yeah, right.
Let's get that to Channel 6 News so we can get that on there.
Yeah, found one.
They've actually, all the medias have been notified. I'll take it. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, then you can finally put the voting stuff to bed, huh?
Yes,
Congratulations.
thank you. Very much.
Till the special election. No, I'm just teasing.
I think there's still enough cushion that has to be.
Yeah, she gave me the side eye look.
Yeah, we're waiting on that.
That's him.
Don't sound like that.
Morning, gentlemen.
Hi.
Morning, guys.
Your item agenda has been tabled. Sorry, someone didn't call you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the attorney hadn't gotten the paperwork done for the final approval.
Oh,
So the action item has been tabled until he gets the paperwork together,
Yes.
and then we can,
do we have any idea when or?
well, I'd like to see it the next meeting, but we don't know until Adam gets the paperwork together. So we can get some word to you. I can get Jacob to get some word to you.
Yeah.
Maybe next meeting, worst case.
Call next Monday
Or-
at the office.
Call
That
the
way you'll know
auditor.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Before you guys come down.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
No, just call over to the auditor's office.
Oh.
That way they'll know for
They'll
sure
know.
if the paperwork came in, that way save you guys trip, okay?
Yeah,
Do that Monday morning?
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
would you?
Give me a call.
sorry.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
breakfast for us.
Yeah.
I'll make some coffee.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, have a good one.
You too. I was worried if they were gonna show up.
Mhm.
No, we probably would have had that done before they rolled in anyway. It would have been on the agenda.
Right.
We've been through that already.
We've been through it.
Yeah, because it usually, was it 9 o'clock last few times?
Yeah.
I think we finally got all that
last week too. I think I had to sign that paperwork about 4 times on that real estate.
Ryan, you gotta be careful now, because I went through the wastewater DMAC
Oh,
class.
yeah.
Did you go through it?
So I'm gonna be checking to
For
make
that,
sure you're doing your
one.
job. Come on out.
I got 2 of them. I got to inspect today.
Yeah, well,
you guys look at that.
you can do that.
Because.
I'm a transfer.
You got to, because it's part of chapter
So I signed
69 in the code, and if
Yeah.
we don't do it, and the Board of Health don't do it, we're all in violation.
The meeting kind of almost put me to sleep. but It's okay.
Yeah, so I had to redo that data. So I was dealing with them like at 8 o'clock that night.
I'm rolling down for bill.
Yeah.
That'd be 69 has changed a
Yeah,
lot. in the
so then I
last-
emailed them.
Yeah, it has.
And basically.
And we're still looking
he
for
was
some more
working that
changes
night,
on
and
it.
I was working, trying to get it corrected so I could get it.
Where it wasn't even here. So, hey,
And I spent a lot of time on the permit process and just kind of getting into terminology and, you know, perk tests and.
That's my problem right now is, Mark Spitznagel doesn't for me. He's one and he's in the service, so he's gone until January. The other one's,
Greg Terry, isn't
no, Greg doesn't do them
it?
anymore.
But
I got it on my, but he took off for Arizona for the winter. So I got somebody, out of Iowa City coming down to do one for me.
You can do them in the winter time?
As long as the ground ain't
I
froze.
was gonna say.
That's the reason it usually slows down as far as my systems. I'm getting 3 put in this week though. I got 2 to inspect later on this afternoon, but I gotta wait for the adjuster to come look at my truck where that deer that was uninsured hit me.
your truck has had a quite a problem this year, haven't you?
They're threatening bubble wrapping it, but I don't know if that's gonna work.
You've been backed into twice,
Yeah,
which is Russ's problem, not our problem.
right.
Yeah, there've been a lot of deer been hit. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Luckily not.
Ain't gonna talk about it.
So they're parceling this off for a homestead or?
Trent, no, Trent Corp is selling. I believe they're just gonna use it for pasture. It's all
Oh, we
wetlands.
talked about this at the.
Yeah, it's off 125th Street down there where the, you know, where the big hog buildings were. So you're down in that area, house on that house, but across the road, that parcel's been split so many times. Even though they're buying, or I think they're buying around 80 acres, but with just that one parcel, turned it into a subdivision because it's been split twice already.
Does that cost them to split it? I mean, do they have to pay the county or anything like that?
There's a subdivision fee of 250 and then, whatever the attorney charges to do a subdivision.
Will that increase taxes on the homestead?
Why it would. Land's land.
My brother-in-law was asking about
Depending on
that.
how you divide it up.
When his went, it's gonna increase that, his homestead taxes.
Well, in some cases, they might go from an ag dwelling to just a residential.
Then it would go up.
That would go up
Yeah.
some.
You know that, the Amish is eight and their property up there, their property tax.
You guys
Honey told me that yesterday.
Gosh,
taxes always go down.
are you farther up?
Uh,
Are you talking about Keller's or farther up?
Farther up.
Cook's ground?
no, he didn't say that one, he just said, is there some crumbling ground up there?
Yeah.
I think that's what he was talking about. He said it's been inked anyway.
We'll have to start watching for the buggies and the horses. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
No, they're quiet people.
And Kellers have a transportation business for them too.
Yeah. I think they homeschool their kids though, don't they? They don't send them to public school.
Till about 12, you know, 12 late and then they can. Each put up they can put up a building and, they said there's quite a bit of interest in coming out here.
Interesting.
From Pennsylvania.
Kind of let everything die down on Thanksgiving.
Roger did one last week. Do you think Roger?
Roger knew about it, yeah.
Yeah, he
I
did a
got the okay
resolution
this
for it.
way and everything, yeah.
He might be confusing more.
Imagine he's probably in court
Not
somewhere.
wearing any protection during the month.
What's this status?
Don't know. Haven't heard nothing.
I'll take that folder.
Does the Amish have to pay school tax?
Through their property tax, the money would go to the schools, yeah,
Yeah, they're not exempt.
I didn't know how that worked, when
Yeah.
they didn't send their kids to school.
yeah. Would be
Just like when our kids grow up, we still gotta pay.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Good
Portion of,
question.
portion of your taxes go to Southeast Community College too.
Yeah, Area 16.
That's fair.
Yeah. Guess I grin a little more when you say that.
We just need more taxes. That's-
Charging by the hour. Why do you think there was one vote difference? Susan?
I'm sorry.
Why do you think there was one vote difference?
We used the central scan machine, which that was what was allowed for us for the voting. So if somebody just put a check mark or something, it could be just, it read it that much more, so.
Cause a problem if we don't get that approved today.
Doesn't matter to me.
Wow.
I guess there were people.
Keller's were after me forever and they still haven't paid me yet. They were supposed to close last week and, their attorney had 11 closings on Friday, I believe is what it was.
Somebody's making money.
They got blowed off on theirs.
There's a copy of the resolution, but
Keller one.
no, of the, where is that the one for today? No, the house.
Oh, that's the one for today.
Did you get the permit for the solar panel? Did they get
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Next day. I got quite a bit done yesterday.
There are a lot of posts set out there. Last week I saw. I'll send him an email because
Phone number?
I don't. Send him an email because he hadn't had permits for town.
Do I? No.
Hey, this is Suzanne from Louisa County Board of Supervisors. Is Marcia coming over to the board meeting? Okay. Is there any way? Okay, because it's 9. Maybe one of 10:15. Okay. Okay. All right. He was judged this morning, so he might be tied up just a bit. He said he was coming here from his office.
Raj, good morning.
Yeah. I've done my spill. It's all up to you now.
Are you done?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're right.
More across the street, going on that I. Am I up?
Yep, you're up, sir.
God, I'm sorry that you.
That's okay.
Did you show him a plaque?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
We don't have any
Okay,
questions.
I think they're swapping some land here, Trend Corp swapping some land with the adjoining landowner.
For access.
That's the
Thank you, sir.
big one, and they already own, their house is right next to it, this house.
It's in that small one, right?
Actually, it's in both of these, they're gonna
Okay.
flip off this one, but yeah, that's in there.
Okay, thank you.
Post resolution.
Oh.
There's no plans to build a house here or nothing, it's just to
No.
increase their footprint.
Floodplain.
It's increasing theirs, and actually what they're gonna do, Chris, is they're flipping some property with Trend that's down here.
Right.
Trend owns this all the way to the river, and it's actually in conservation wetlands. And so, they're gonna flip some of this property, this is Trend's.
Yep.
They're gonna parcel this off, to square that off, and then House will own, this is where they live, this is what they're getting, and then they're getting everything to the river.
Cause it's what we're subdividing, pretty much just a swamp or CRP.
I think, yeah, it is, it's in the
It's
wetlands
been
program.
switchgrass for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on it?
No, I don't, I'll hand this to.
Looking for a motion. Make a motion to accept resolution 202442, the Howes Paradise subdivision.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you. Thanks, Roger.
Sounds good. I'll bring the resolution over to you. She's in. She's in. Okay. I'll just write it out here. Which one you got? The big plan?
Oh, is that? Time transfer this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh.
We understand.
Busy guy.
Okay, is any other motion?
You want to stop?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
I'm going there right now.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.